Know this. Introducing the original Blood Clot podcast, not players. Soothing semantic. Special dedication. All the way from New York. Boom. Yeah, man. SWOT semantic. Yeah, me know. Boom. Soothing semantic. Yeah, me know. Big ups to the man now. Soothing semantic.
On another episode of Soothing Semantics, we have the Belarusian Arnold Schwarzenegger, or rather the... Well, I'm calling you the Belarusian Arnold Schwarzenegger. Your Arnold is really the Austrian Dima. Okay? We have the Austrian... No, it doesn't make sense either. Anyhow, Arnold Schwarzenegger looks like Dima. Okay? And they have somewhat similar voices to some degree, but yes... Arnold has been training to swim with Dima, okay, whether he knows it or not. Mm-hmm. And when I moved here, I was not a good swimmer at all, could barely swim. Well, really couldn't swim at all. And Dima helped me. Yeah. And now I am extremely grateful. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Phenomenal teacher. So we'll go into his website, Florida Swim Center. Is the
swimmingcenters.com. The name of the company, Florida Swim Center. Yes, and thank you for having me here.
My pleasure. Absolutely. We've been talking about having you for a little while, so hopefully finally you made it.
Thank you. I'm right here. You know it.
Yeah. He's here. He's made it. He swam here from Belarus.
So, Showtime, baby.
But now that California's all messed up, are you going to try to become the governor here?
Maybe I'll try. This is a good idea. Good. Yes. Never thought about this. Thank you. This is fresh.
They're going to have a statue in front of one of these swim centers. Just you know, kind of how Arnold has his whole thing. But yes. So my only question to you is, why did you decide to swim from Belarus instead of just taking a plane? You know, that kind of would have been more practical.
Yeah, good question. Okay, I tried to
save money.
Check myself on my skills, how hard it is. Okay. And just it was an obstacle.
How did you even take your stuff with you? Did you have a string attached with all the luggage?
Yeah, string attached with this little boat behind me. I just swim there, back and forth.
Dude, I really wouldn't put it past you to swim. If you felt you could make it, you're the type to do it. So, ladies and gents, today we don't want to just talk about swimming in general, but we want to talk about the importance of teaching your kids how to swim at a young age. Unfortunately, I was not one of them. I had an incident when I was younger, when I was at a water park and we were at a lazy river. So I'm sure most of you know what a lazy river is. If anyone's American, they know. For anyone who's listening that isn't American, a lazy river is essentially this small little kind of makeshift river in these amusement parks or water parks. And whether you're a kid or an adult, it's just a very relaxing thing. You take a tube and you sit and it just goes. Some people like to play around a little more. They'll flip people's tubes and they'll get a little rowdy, but generally you're not supposed to do that. It's just a relaxing thing. I must have been 6 or 7 at the time, I would say. And I'm in the tube just relaxing, talking to some friends next to me, and this much bigger guy, I don't know, maybe a 15, 16-year-old, decides to have fun and flip people's tubes. So he's just going around flipping tubes, and I was hoping he wouldn't flip mine, but I couldn't swim at the time, so I was like, well, it wasn't really anything I could do because I got in the tube, but I had trouble getting out of it. So he managed to flip my tube, and I found myself underwater, and the tubes were tube to tube. Like, there was no space. The lazy river was packed. So I'm at the bottom underneath the tubes, and I'm freaking out trying to get up, but I couldn't get myself out. Finally, I managed to squeeze my head. Like, I pushed through, got my head out, and I gasped for air. And I was scared shitless. I was thankful I was alive, but nobody was able to hear me. I couldn't scream for help or anything. So I was alive, but like I could have drowned. So
yeah, very
after that,
traumatic experience.
Very traumatic, man. So it was definitely, it took me a while, and I just kept pushing it off, and it was uncomfortable for me because whenever people would have like pool parties, I would go and I'd get in the water, but I would kind of just sit there, and I was embarrassed to admit I couldn't swim, and no one ever really asked me. I'm sure maybe people assumed, but it sucked. People were enjoying themselves and whatever, and I would kind of just sit there in the corner of the pool, or I'd walk around, but I couldn't. So a lot of the time I would just avoid going to anything pool related altogether because I just felt uncomfortable. And I always told myself I hate being in this position. I have to learn how. It's so important, and I want to be able to enjoy water with other people. So then when I moved to Florida, I said, you know what? Fuck the embarrassment. Fuck my pride. Who cares? Like, it's such a stupid thing to care about. I'm just sabotaging myself. I found you online. We started doing it in the mornings, it was at least 2 days a week. We started doing it once a week, then we upped it to 2 times a week. In a couple of weeks, a couple of sessions, literally I think 2 or 3 weeks in, I think like the third session, man, I was already floating. And then very quickly, and dude, this actually wasn't the first time. I told you I was doing it in New York for about 2 months before I moved, and I didn't learn shit. Because first of all, it wasn't one-on-one. I was doing it with 4 other people in that hour, so the coach couldn't give me full attention, and he just wasn't. I think he was the kind of guy that really. They wanted you to learn how to swim, but they were trying to keep you in the class as long as possible. So they were really wasting time. Like it was way too slow. You were like, get in the water, let's go, boom. You pushed me.
Right.
You got me to move
Absolutely.
Immediately. And now that's what it was for them. It was like they had the stupid floaty, which you did also, but for them they were doing it like really, really slow. And I didn't learn anything. Like I did it for 2 months, nothing changed. The only thing that I got more comfortable with was putting my head under. I mean, I was able to do that even before. Years ago, like I just practiced that I was able to go without like holding my nose or anything. But yeah, I didn't learn shit. And then with you, literally three sessions in, I was already like going. And then figure like a month and a half later, not even a month and a half, but like a month in, I was already swimming. It wasn't, and it wasn't like I was doing it every day, mind you. It was only like once or twice a week. If I was doing it like 6 days a week, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I feel like in the first week I would have.
I wouldn't say first week, 2 weeks. I mean, 2 weeks, and just you would feel very comfortable, floating on stomach, floating on back.
I'll be back. Ha! You did not gonna say that, did you?
That's what you always say.
I do.
Picking up items from the floor, jump from a edge of the pool.
That was amazing. When I was able to go head first, I was in the water and I was able to go head first and dive and grab stuff from the floor.
Right.
I felt amazing. I remember that. And then now I could do it easily. And then and even jumping in the water, now I jump in like head first. I don't dive if it's not deep. But like I feel like in a sense I kind of feel like a pro, like I'll put my hands out and I'll go head first.
Yeah, sure. I remember. Yes.
Yeah, man, I do it now like easily. It's amazing.
And also, especially you mentioned, it's very interesting because, again, some people even don't know that you just mentioned about your obstacle that you look for me online. It's obstacle just to decide and come to the instructor to take swimming lessons. This is like a very important step for yourself. So it's very interesting.
I had to, dude. I had a couple of times in my life where it was getting later and later. It happened with my Army experience. I drafted at 22, where a lot of people drafted 18 or 19. I was late to it. And I kept, as I was getting older, I said, this is a fleeting moment. Like, if I don't do it now, So with swimming, I could have done it in, 30, 35, I could do it, I guess, whenever. But I said, like, I'm already in my mid-20s. Like, what am I waiting for? I got to just get it done already. Right. I want to have kids, get married eventually. I don't want to be that dad that can't do that. Like, I want to be swimming with my kids. I want to be in the pool with my kids. I want to, God forbid, be able to save a kid. God forbid something happens.
Right.
Imagine, God forbid, my kid, I don't even want to say it, but my kid or someone else's kid needs to be, I need to jump in for them. I don't want to be looking for some other parent. Oh, I need someone else to do it. Are you kidding me? What kind of a person is that? You know what I mean? Like, and that's a horrible. There was actually, I think a story happened not too long ago of a guy who couldn't really swim and he jumped in and he drowned along with the kids. Or maybe he was able to save the kids somehow, but I know he died. I mean, and credit to the person for trying, but like, supposedly I don't think he knew how. It's a horrible position to be in. Because if you knew how, easy, no problem. You jump in there if it's not a deep pool, especially.
Right.
Easy money. Yeah. You know, especially if they're just started to like gasp for air, you grab them, you pull them out. That's
it comes naturally.
I mean, dude, I can do that now.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to do that 2 years ago.
Okay, this is great. This is great obstacle.
Dima Swim Center, baby.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Dima Swim Center, baby. Give him a ring.
Thank you. So, if you want to survive, follow me.
Get in the chopper.
Get in the chopper.
Yeah, get down to the pool with Dima. He will teach you how to swim. Backstroke, butterfly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even his laugh.
Pump your muscles up and down, up and down.
Dude, you hear even your laugh, man. You got the Arnold laugh.
Yeah.
So other than CPR, well, we didn't go into that yet, but what are we talked before the episode of the drowning rate in Florida and how
the
you have a massive interest in lowering, and decreasing those numbers. So
yeah, sure, absolutely. So according to the Department of Health, there is Florida. First of all, Florida is number 1 from other states in drowning rate. Probably because there are a lot of pools around. Big percentage of the homes have swimming pools or condos, or if you have house or condos, they have a pool. Also, a big shore, swimming. Everybody comes here to swim, to enjoy. From New York, California, all 50 states come here. So probably this is also contributes to the drowning rate, and so I believe that everybody's supposed to know it. Children, adults, teenagers, everybody is supposed to know it, and this is sport number 1. Because name one sport that you can do from 1 month old.
Nothing.
If I teach from 2 weeks old,
nothing else.
No other sport than swimming. Also, enjoyment. The main point. This is not just the main point to get you interested. This is enjoyment. What you can do when you know how to swim. Sparing, you can sparing fish and.
Oh yeah. By the way, I would love to do that.
Yes, right. Swimming with sharks. Just be safe on the boat.
By the way, when you swim with sharks, do they when you swim in there, any great whites, do they run away?
They don't run away. I mean, there are.
It's an Arnold joke. Yeah.
They're creatures. I mean, ocean creatures. They're gonna be present. They were before us. They're gonna be after us. They're always gonna be there. And I'm not specialist in this yet. Maybe in the future. Maybe if I'm gonna have requests from you guys. But this is a very exciting experience. To swim, to get to know nature around. To also be safe on the boat. What's more important to be safe on the boat? Sometimes boat can flip around. If you have a boat, you have to know how to swim. Have to.
And it's also, you never know. I always have encountered people like me that don't know how, and sometimes they're a lot older than me, which means that they're probably in worse shape. Just with age, most people are not exercising religiously in their 30s and 40s. Most aren't. So if you're somebody that can't swim and is in worse shape, you're just in a bad position. And you're one less person. You can't help other people, and you can't help yourself in that kind of position. If a boat flips, you are screwed. You have to rely on somebody else to help you, and you can't help anyone else. So you're just a liability in every respect. And that's why it's just so important to, for the people that can, to be good at it. Not just to be able to do it, but to be good. And I definitely have my improvements to make, because I want to be able to do it proficient. Like, I want to be able to dive into very, very deep ocean, and if God forbid somebody's drowning or I need to, pull them on the boat, I want to be able to do that. CPR, all that stuff.
Yes, so this is a very important point. Also, all certified lifeguards know that it's very dangerous to save person if you swim in front of the person. If someone's drowning, they can pull you down, so therefore you have to swim around the person and grab behind and pull up the person.
So good that you mentioned this, man, because naturally I think if you don't know that, you're going to try to swim in front because you want to show the person that you're there for them.
Yes.
You want to give them like, hey, I'm here, and you'd think it would help, but based on what you're telling me, I would never know that, man.
It may be one, so these people who are drowning can...
But here's the thing, though. What if they're already underwater and you go in and you can't see which way they're looking? That's a little bit... You got what I'm saying? I guess you just, wherever you show up, if they're already on top of water and you jump in, you see they're looking, okay, then fine. But if you just jump in, they happen to be looking right at you, they've already seen you. So what do you...
Right, but their instincts, they try to grasp for the air. They go one up.
Fine. So
And
either way, you come behind them.
Yes,
even if they see you, either way.
They are looking for support, like hard support. So if they feel it, they don't know what it is.
They're going to push you down.
They push you down and grab you, and
they're trying to get up.
Yeah,
so
it can be one more victim. So it's very dangerous to save another person.
I'm imagining that. I'm visualizing that. That's a scary fucking moment. Because you're trying to get them up. They're trying to. They don't want you to die. They don't want you to suffer. But they are doing anything they can to survive. And you're both struggling with each other. And you're like, dude, just stop holding me so I can get around you. But they're like, there's no way they're letting go of you in that moment. They're already in panic mode. They are doing what they think they need to do to get out of there. So they're not listening to you. You can yell at them as long as you want. They're going to keep pushing you down because that's the only thing their brain is telling them to do. But if you start off doing it correctly, they're not in control anymore. You're the one in control, and you can do what needs to be done. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like mentally understanding that. It's like, okay, good, now I know. Like, that's huge, man. It's huge.
Right. Especially about yelling. It popped on my mind that yelling, these people, the victims cannot ask for help because their mouth submerged in the water, and they scream. They can't give you sign just splashing on the water. First few seconds, then your body go down. I saw a video on YouTube. Child drowns in the water, just splashing around, and people passing by, they don't see it, they don't pay attention, they don't recognize, so the child needs help. They just passing by and the child drowns. Yeah, this is called quiet drowning.
It's crazy, man. It's such a freaky thing. Dude, the feeling of drowning is a horrible experience. It really is, man. It's like, because I've experienced, I think a lot of people have at least once. Have you ever when you were younger, when did you learn how?
Yes, I had experience, but we played in our team. I knew how to swim, and we were playing water polo. And one of our teammates, like opponents, he put hands on me and just started to
push
me down. And then I drank water a little bit. Okay, and I thought, 1, 2, and this moment, everything's like spins around. So this is not 1 second. So I've been maybe underwater maybe 5, 10 seconds, but it seems like it was a minute, 2 minutes, and you get stressed and you start suffocating. Yes, I felt the when I joined. So then he left and he went for the ball, and um, I floated, took air and for breathe, and I was okay, fine. Just I drank water a little bit. Water was in my lungs. I mean, so I had the experience. So I know how you feel it.
It's tough, man.
I know how you feel it.
That's why when the jumping thing took me a little bit of time. But for you, you know what it was for me though? Like when you just told me every time, whenever there was a little thing I was nervous about, I was like, fuck it. I just had this, I saw you there. I knew you knew what you were doing. And I said, okay, Rafi, enough already. And I say this in some episodes, the time in the Army helped me tremendously with a lot of these issues. Like a lot of these fears, I look back at it. Like I always do, I compare it to my experience. And I say, okay, is this as difficult as the stuff I did there? Usually it's not. I say, okay, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I say to myself, it's kind of extreme, but I say, I might die. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll drown. Who knows? But like, just shut up. I just shut it out of my head, and I did it. Because I said, you were in the pool. Worst case, you jump in. It's a small pool. You'll get me. Worst case scenario. I was like, dude, you're stop filling your head with this stupid nonsense. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And I just did it. And it's like that's why when we were talking about this misconception that people think when you get older it's a lot harder.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I'm older and went through these experiences helped me to shut off the noise. It could be that if I was younger, you could look at it either way, because if you're a lot younger, if you're a kid, you haven't gone through these traumas yet to be scared, so you just do what you're told.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a not a fine line, but you get where I'm going with this? If you're 5 years old and you've
Right.
never experienced drowning,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a coach to just tell you what to do, and you're not really, you might be a little scared as a 5-year-old, but you haven't gone through any traumas.
Right.
So you do it. You know?
Honestly saying that if you get to the experienced coach, he would never put the child or adult in a position that they're supposed to be scared of water.
Mm-hmm.
They would not let you get this feeling.
Mm-hmm.
They would progress your skills. They would progress your skills.
Well, you know what was huge, Dima?
Yeah.
Just hold the thought. The breathing thing that you always made me do. Every few strokes, every few like laps,
Mm-hmm.
and even before I was doing laps, you always made me do the 10
10
drops.
bubbles. Yeah, right.
So I would,
10 bubbles. Yeah.
Right, the 10. Yeah. So I would go up, pop my head down, and make bubbles. Up again, bubbles. Up again, bubbles. And just getting used to being underwater, blowing bubbles underwater,
Mm-hmm.
breathing underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not breathing, but that's what we called it. You know,
Breathing out.
breathing out, and
Yeah.
just constantly, again and again and again and again and again and again, and just mentally, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And doing that was huge, because I wasn't taught to do that prior. So yeah, that was very important.
Mm-hmm.
Like even
Right.
now, if I were to go in and I don't know, the water's really cold and like I'm just not used to it yet. That's what I do.
Yeah.
A couple of times and I'm good.
And actually, I did it because you got used to breathe outside of the water. You get used to the breathing, right? You don't notice it when you breathe. You don't notice it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when you don't have experience in the water, swimming in the water, you need to, again, there are different laws of physics. You need to learn how to breathe in, breathe out, exhale, inhale, how to float on stomach, float on back, use legs.
I'll be back.
Yeah,
Floating back.
I'll be back.
legs, hands, arms, breathing techniques, and yeah, there are different laws of physics. So basically, can you imagine? There's the one place on Earth where there is no gravity. There is no gravity.
Mhm.
So, and you are safe there. So let's say if I'm just standing outside, I very often explain my swimmers, my students, that if I pick up my legs, both legs, what's gonna happen?
If you pick up your legs,
If I'm standing
Mhm.
on the ground and I pick up both my both legs
you float.
on the ground.
Oh,
On
on the
the-
ground. Now
Yeah,
you'll fall on the
ground.
floor.
I fall on the floor. If I do the same thing on the water
Then you'll float, yeah.
and I float, and that's why I'm safe. I can get injured from here. Yesterday I played soccer. Yeah, I got injured. I mean, not get injured, just get a bruise. It's all right. But again, there are so many things you can get: bruises, broken bones, something else when you play other sports like high impact sports like soccer, football, basketball, volleyball, European handball. In the water you are safe. There, you cannot, unless you swim.
I mean, you
backstroke.
Yeah, you could dive improperly if it's too shallow, hit your head on the,
Right.
it's possible, but it's low impact. If you're not an idiot,
But
they're much less likely to get injuries.
with experienced swimming coach, you would never get it.
Right.
So whatever you do, everything happens only because people rush too much in the water. Water likes slow motion. I always tell my students, swimming is exercise for lazy people. That's true. If you fight with water, if you fight with nature is gonna defend you. So because that's why you need to do all slow motions. All strokes supposed to be slow and long. And you're gonna get
that was a huge takeaway from you. Well, two big takeaways was be calm, let the water take you, meaning just let it naturally. You float. If you start panicking and you stress too much, you exert too much energy, you tire out faster, and there's just no need for it.
Right.
You don't have to. Yeah, if you want to go quickly, then you have to put some more power into it. But instead of doing let's say 20 really quick short strokes, you do 6 or 7 gentle. You let each one you extend out, and you let one go into the other instead of going. So when you taught me that, and we went over again and again and again, you end up first of all going faster than you would.
Yes.
Because it's smooth movement after movement as opposed to movement, you know?
Right.
And you end up a lot less tired in the process. So
Less
you can go
tired
for a lot longer.
and because you glide during the moment that you want to take one more stroke. You can glide. So when you glide, you're still moving. Some people don't realize it, and they still working out. They still pushing the water, pushing like on the ground. But there are different laws.
It's kind of like I'm just trying to. You just use the momentum of the water in a sense. You just don't need to exert as much energy.
Inertia, yeah, right.
It's that momentum. Once you get that, you get it going a little bit. You could just the water takes you. You know what I mean? Versus when you're on land, if you stop, you stop. Nothing's. You get what I'm saying? Because of gravity. That's really what it is. So
that's true.
Yeah, no, it's really important. It's an amazing thing, man. It's fascinating to me. I definitely got to get better at the butterfly stroke. That was cool. I still suck at that. I mean, most people can't do it. It's fair, but it's such a cool. When you used to do it, it was like. For whoever doesn't know, the butterfly stroke is that stroke where you see Michael Phelps just like coming out of the water like a dolphin, and your feet are going like that's
beautiful, gorgeous stroke. Yeah.
It's such a powerful stroke. It's just like love it. Yeah, definitely got it.
And it's very similar to fish when you swim in the when you look at fish. Fish don't use flutter kick like this, scissor kick. They don't do it. They do like this, like dolphin kick, like this.
Well, I mean, they
all
can't.
kick, and like this, right? Because this is natural selection.
Right.
The creatures that survived, they do like this, like butterfly, right?
Yeah, that makes sense, man. That's the most effective way.
This is most effective way. And so this element, basically, this is a good point. This element people use in all 4 strokes. But freestyle, when you swim freestyle, people push off the wall. First of all, they do butterfly kick, then they start swimming freestyle. Backstroke, same thing. Butterfly, of course, and breaststroke, you have to. There is some movements can be restricted if you do it, but if you do it properly, you have to kind of dive like this. A little bit, put your head down, and you have to dive there, and it's kind of little butterfly kick. So your body always go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down.
I pick things up and I put them down. I love these Arnold jokes, man. I'm so glad we finally did this so I could make them. Yeah, man, it's really really very very important.
Would you be able to invite Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I hope so. I was hoping you can get him on since you guys are related, you know?
Yeah. I need to ask my brother.
That would be great if I could get Arnold on the podcast. That'd be something. Listen, man, sky's the limit. I'm definitely gonna try. If I have any opportunity, I know anyone that knows him. You better believe I'm gonna do my best. That would be fun. Oh my god. Yeah, I would just tease him the entire time. I wouldn't be able to handle it. You know.
Arnold, what are your best jokes? What are your favorite jokes?
Well, you know what? First of all, my one of my favorite things I like to do with the impressions of Arnold is there's this old clip of him in the gym, and he goes,
The pump is better than sex because now I get sex.
what was he saying? Like,
The pump I get to do, it's like I'm coming all the time.
you never saw this one? He's in the gym and he's doing curls and he's like,
It's like I'm coming. Now the pump and the blood and the muscles.
and you just see him and you're like, you're such a crazy dude, you know?
Your muscles get a really tight feeling, like your skin is going to explode any minute. You know, it's really tight. It's like somebody blowing air into your muscle. It just blows up. It's as satisfying to me as coming is. You know, as having sex with a woman and coming. So can you believe how much I am in heaven? I'm like getting the feeling of coming in the gym. I'm getting the feeling of coming at home. I'm getting the feeling of coming backstage when I pump up, when I pose out in front of 5,000 people. I get the same feeling. So I'm coming day and night. I mean, it's terrific, right?
And I get it, honestly, dude. The pump, having a good pump in the gym, awesome feeling. Especially early in the morning. The sun's just coming up. I finish my workout at 7 a.m. You know, most people are still sleeping, and my muscles are just pumped, you know? I wish it could be like that all the time. We all, all people who lift do. And I just, my blood, I just feel like an animal, and I'm walking home and I'm just like listening to my music. It's a beautiful day. And I'm like, oh, I just feel like I feel like the rest of the day, I'm going to kill the day,
And you are the first.
Yeah.
You're the first person.
Yeah, man, it's early in the morning. I got a kickstart to my day. I feel amazing. I'm about to have a mean breakfast, high protein breakfast. It's just an awesome thing. And I love watching that because I hear where he's coming from. It's a funny way to describe it, but with that accent of his, that Austrian accent.
Yeah, the pump and the muscles, ooh, yeah, ooh.
He's sitting there just, yeah, man, it's awesome.
That's true.
It's hilarious.
I don't know how we get to the Arnold Schwarzenegger from swimming.
They're all related, man. They're all related somehow.
All related. Interesting. It would be interesting to see how he swims.
Yeah, he's probably pretty good at it. I wouldn't put it past him. He's a very accomplished dude. He's a very accomplished person. You think about it. Pretty much the number one bodybuilder of all time. I mean, he's the face of bodybuilding. Governor of California. Huge actor. Well, he was. I mean, he's a massive entrepreneur in general. He's written books. He's just all around a massively successful person. So
that's true.
You know what I mean? Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely did what he set out to do. I read one of his books actually. I forgot what it was called, but told the story of how he was in the army and didn't like it, and he moved to California and started his whole bodybuilding thing, and just went into his whole experience. And he talks a lot. I've watched a lot of his videos on YouTube about how you just got to work hard. He's like, you don't do illegal things, but you got to bend the rules sometimes. Like, don't be don't be too much of a goody two shoes. No one you can, you get what I'm saying? Some rules are meant to be broken, and you have to know when that is. Not to do illegal things necessarily, but to create your own path, to do things differently.
All right.
You know what I mean? That's what I find.
Yeah.
You have to be balls to the wall with things. Can we say, "Oh, that's not allowed"? Oh no! Like, come on, like if something like it's just very simple. you'll see like those line when you're waiting online at a bank or whatever, or I don't know, at a bank, but whatever it is. Do you go if no one's on the line? This is a funny thing, but some people will literally go around the entire thing. You get what I'm saying, Dima? They'll go and walk around, and other people like me, but like I'm not gonna go and do that. I'll literally either walk under or I'll just skip the whole thing. Like, what am I sitting there going like this for? You get what I'm saying? But it's a mentality. Some people, I think that's kind of what shows you what kind of people they are in a sense. Where some people they just have a very follower kind of mentality. Where if the line is drawn out for them, if there's like a cone somewhere, they just say, "Oh, there's a cone there. Okay, look at what's going on there. Maybe the cone was just placed there for whatever reason. It's been there for 2 months." But if you could just move the cone and park in that parking spot, you feel me? Like,
right.
Think logically. What's going on here? Think outside the box. But some people
So thank you. Thinking outside of the box. Yeah.
thinking outside the box. It's just very important. I'm not saying I'm the best in the world at it. I'm not. Whatever it is, I'm not. There are times I definitely play it safe. I'm not like the craziest, riskiest dude in the world, but calculated risk. It's important, As you get older, you try it more and you get more comfortable with doing it, and you decide when it's good and when it's not. And obviously, you're gonna fuck up, and that's part of life. But swimming, that's definitely something that you should. It's a bigger risk not to do.
Right.
That's for sure. Very stupid. I wish I did it sooner, but better late than never.
Yeah, and that I realize more and more than, especially in your experience as well, that private lessons. One-on-one lessons are very beneficial for students. I mean, for all students, especially because during group lessons, some, as you mentioned, coaches don't have enough time for everybody.
Yeah, dude, I'm very pro one-on-one. If any of you listening to this don't know how, don't do the group stuff. You think you're saving money? You think it'll be nice because you have other people that don't know how. It'll make you feel comfortable. It's going to take longer. You'll end up spending more money in the long run. It'll take you a lot longer to learn. It's stupid. I'm not saying it's stupid. Maybe some people it works for, but I strongly recommend one-on-one. Strongly.
Thank you. Yes, right.
Yeah.
Therefore I realized that if I focus on one person, even when I teach people, I know that I teach different. Each person I teach differently. So can you tell me how can I do the same thing with all group classes and the same teach all same strokes, same kick, same using hands, same breathing techniques. So again, I know one kid that he's natural breaststroker. So his legs. First of all, I want to child get interested in swimming. So I try to find the exercise that is going to be beneficial right now, and child's gonna swim right now, to get his or her interest. So there are natural breaststrokers. They have their legs bent like this, so they swim like frogs. And I show them frog exercises. So they start swimming breaststroke. You'll be different. Your body will be different. That's why I picked. We started from freestyle. Some kids, adults also, it would be better to start from backstroke, to put them on the back.
How do you determine that? When is it depending on what kind of body structure?
Yes, this is body structure. This is body development.
So how do you determine?
Muscles,
so why did you do freestyle with me?
Yeah, I do test, of course, but this is most of this experience. If I see, I taught more than 5,000 students.
Wow.
Already, and I know it clicks right here. I mean, this is breaststroke. This is, first of all, I try this. A good question. So I have in my arsenal, I have let's say 20 exercises that I want to offer my students, and I start first, second, third, fifth, and whatever works, I start working with it. I see the child can swim, can float on the back, and then I start working floating on the back. If I see child enjoys swimming on front, and he she can find items on the floor, on the bottom of the pool, and pick up items, and legs like this, works like this, like a flutter kick. Like
So you focus on their strengths in a sense. You see what they're kind of going towards, and you'd start off at least with that first, get them to be good at that, and then you'll work on other things, is what you're saying?
Right. So exactly. So I focus on strength, and when they start develop they strength, they powerful stroke. I mean, they best stroke. Then I can develop other strokes. Right.
It's funny how, like, don't you ever think about how, like, so many things in life come down to common rules? Focus on your strengths, and then the other things kind of work themselves out.
Right.
Like, focus on the one thing that's most important.
Right.
It's like I don't know. You can tie it to relationships, health. There's this book, The One Thing, by Gary Keller, is the CEO of Keller Williams, the company I work with. Phenomenal book. Amazing book. He's got several, but he has about 6 or 7 books. Maybe he has more that I don't know of, but bought all the books. I'm going through them. And just to tie into this real quick, we're talking about swimming and starting off. It's incredible, man. How there are certain things that matter a bit. There's a whole rule of that. There's like this, urgent and important, urgent and not important, non-urgent, not important, important and not urgent. And I'm not going to go into it now. Anyone can look that up. But, it's important in your daily life to decide what matters most and what doesn't, and prioritize the things that matter most first. Because then you find yourself just accomplishing things for the sake of accomplishing them, even though they don't bring you any real value. And you can even pay somebody to do that for you. And it's just important realizing that, because I didn't grow up with that mentality. I grew up kind of just trying to do everything on my own. But you don't have enough time. If you want to be more than average in any respect, and to devote, you have to know what to devote most of your time to.
Absolutely.
Because then you can delegate those things to other people.
Yes.
Or you can find time at another, on the weekend or later in the day to do those things if you want to. But those aren't what are giving you the massive results. You have to find what's really giving you the results and go tunnel vision to that. And I didn't really understand that until a little while ago. Like I've heard it, people said it, but until I put it into practice, it's and so this, for instance, what you're telling me, it's really applicable to everything.
Everything. Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you for saying this. Thank you for your analysis.
Dude, 100%. Dude, you're also. I've only done swimming with 2 different coaches. But you have a very methodical system. You have all your stuff. You bring the flippers and the balls and those tubes, and you have a specific thing for each thing. And you go like, okay, this week we're doing this. Next week we're doing this. And we're gonna start off with these strokes. We're gonna do X amount of laps. Like you taught me the stretches, and you just like very step by step. But at the same time, you're very. You pushed me. You saw like there were certain things I wasn't so comfortable with right away. You weren't like, okay, let's do that in 8 weeks. You're like, let's go, come on, And I wasn't like, oh fuck. There's certain things I was a little uncomfortable with, but you gave me the confidence to just go and do it right away. And I know that I wouldn't have been as fast to do it if I had a coach that was like, it's okay, don't worry. You were like that in a sense, but you weren't babying me, which I need. This is how I'm good. I learn best with understanding me, but at the same time being like, let's go, bro. Because I'm not, I don't need somebody to necessarily just hold my hand and walk me. I need somebody to put their hand on my shoulder and be like, bro, don't worry, you got this shit. That's I'm the best, like the tough love kind of thing.
Thank you for saying this. This is very, very important.
That's my experience, man. And I hope people in the Miami area go with you with their kids, or use you to help their kids swim, and if they're adults, they do it as well. And I am very confident you guys will be extremely, extremely happy. So, for sure.
Good.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, and also you were very responsive, because you do whatever I say. What instructions I gave you, you try to follow from beginning to the end. This is like very, very important. Because I know experience, some people come, some ask for my service, and they sometimes ask so many questions, and they want, this is either they want to because they want to save money and they want to do everything at once, or maybe they are not sure about what. Maybe they give me tasks, what they want to do, to improve their butterfly stroke, to improve freestyle stroke, how to turn head to the side. Once one of the clients told me, "Oh, my swimmer told me one of the swimmers told me that I'm turning my head too much. That I need to turn my head less, so because this reduce speed." And they asked me too many questions, gave me too many tasks. However, I know what you need already. When I see your technique, you don't have to explain me something. I mean, yeah, I'd like to hear your story about your experience. Tell me what you want. But it's very important to focus on one point, the less points as possible, and drill them, drill. And also, so then you're gonna succeed here. And also, I see the big picture, how I can help you. So I will provide you exercise that is gonna help with all 4 strokes. I teach all 4 strokes at the same time, starting from the first class. Again, depending on your abilities. Because some kids, adults, they come and they don't know their strength. And I see, wow, really, you did butterfly from first time? Amazing, this is amazing. Let's do like this. Let's do butterfly. If you can do butterfly from a first lesson, I mean, it is amazing. And I try to find the little pinpoint in freestyle, backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly. There are so many pinpoints that I can implement during the class. And again, teaching all 4 strokes from first lesson. This is very important.
Absolutely.
And also very important, like you said, jumping. I try to incorporate fun in the end of the class, not in the beginning, not during the class, in the end of the class, that a child can enjoy swimming. First of all, this enjoyment of the lessons. Enjoyment. It's not to lose weight. This is not about get rid of the fear of water. This is about gaining muscles, and this is about enjoyment from swimming. Because look at this. Burning fat, this is negative thing. If you are thinking about, oh, I want to come and I want to learn to swim to get rid of the fat, this is negative. Think positive. I want to not to burn your fat. I want you gain muscles. This is better. I don't want to get rid of.
That just came out so Arnold. Okay, but go on.
I want to.
This is better.
Yeah, this is better. I want to get rid. I don't want to get rid of fear of water. I want to enjoy swimming. I want to find
Such a good
find strength to enjoy the swimming.
I wouldn't say losing weight is negative, but I hear what you're saying. It's more positive to say you want to build instead of lose something.
Yes, right.
I completely get where you're going with that. Yeah, it's amazing, man. I definitely want to become an incredible swimmer. Like, I want to be able to dive off of those boards, really high up, and even join a team at some point. I would love to do that. It's really just about time. So, God willing, once I'm, quite frankly, doing very well in the money department, and I just have that free time, I very, very much would like to do that. So, hopefully that'll be a thing.
Jumping, diving.
Yeah, but I just mean in general, like being part of a swim team, even if it's once a week, whatever it is. But that would be amazing.
Okay.
Competition, competing, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And question. I've been working for in high school as a physical education teacher for 10 years in New York. And it's strange why kids have all activities until 18-year-old. Oh, you have time. You take these classes. You take karate, you take swimming, soccer, baseball, basketball, and everybody has competition. But adults, when you become 18, you become too busy, and then that's it. Your racing experience goes down. So the statistics, because you need to go to college.
You know what it is, man? I have a very easy answer for that.
Mhm.
Because when you're younger and you're in school, they're making it very accessible for you.
Right.
Once you get older, it's a perfect example of this is doctor's appointments. When you're younger, you have your parents to schedule the appointments, so you
Yes,
go.
right. Okay.
How many adults that you know go around and ask 10 people when they last went to the doctor or the dentist? Probably a couple of years. Because now they're adults, so now they get to do what they want to do. And when you do what you want to do, a lot of people want to do the things that aren't good for them. But if you choose the things that are good for you, a lot of those things are hard. Oh, we don't want to do hard things. No, I got into this. I'm not going to go into a rabbit hole now with all this, but when you have a choice, a lot of people end up making the wrong choice. So I agree with you, man. And that's why I want to be I definitely want to, whether it's, volleyball or whatever the case is, I want to do something that's active and that I really enjoy doing. So
But main point, competitive experience.
Yes,
Like you said, you want to be on the swim team. You want to be part of something big.
Martial arts, huge thing also. 'Cause
Yes.
it's the discipline. You have your work life, you got your relationship, whatever it is, but then you have this thing that you're competing.
Yes.
It's very important. Competitive, yeah, it's so important.
That's how you get the enjoyment of the sport.
I agree with you, man. So let's see, man. Let's
Yeah,
get
so
that
this
team
is-
together,
yeah,
Dima.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Let's start.
okay.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
man.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You got
indeed.
Dima, thank you for coming. I
Yeah.
had a great time with you. It's really, we covered a lot of ground, and again, guys, check out his website. Remind me, Florida Swim Center is what you call it.
Swimmingcenters.com.
Swimmingcenter.com.
Is the
Swimming
website.
centers or center?
Plural.
Center. Swimmingcenters.com. Okay.
.com. Yes.
Yes.
Right.
If any of you want to contact him, I have his number. Could also do it that way. If you prefer the website, then do it through the website. And guys, phenomenal teacher, understands your needs. I strongly recommend him. I used him myself,
Thank
so
you.
I can vouch
Thank
for
you,
him.
Rafi.
And yes, my pleasure, man. And that will be all.
And we'll be back. Hasta la vista, baby.
Take care, guys. Tune in every Monday as usual. I will see you soon.